Alright my friends, welcome back to Frogboy X1 Gaming. I'm Andrew and today is the video you've been waiting for. Did the 7800X 3D improve the 4080 Super enough to justify the extra added cost of having to upgrade a platform just to get the most out of the 4080 Super? Well, my friends, I am here to tell you that yes, it did in fact improve the overall stability, as well as give me a little bit better gain in FPS in the games that I play. So it really is like maybe of anywhere from a 0% gain in FPS all the way up. And yes, I am actually running the 4080 Super right now at the max power draw. I am on MSI Afterburner. I have it set to 125%. It lets me bring it up to 125%. So that's what I've been using it on all day. So I've had this card for I've had this upgrade now for about 4 days. The first day I was just able to upgrade it and get it, you know, at least to power on and maybe play around with it a little bit. The second day I had, you know, more time. I played with it, you know, for 5 or 6 hours after work. I was playing with it all day yesterday. I did some 7900 XT stuff early in the morning, but I've had the 4080 Super in there now since then, and I have played a lot of different games. I've put some videos out. I've showed you guys a little bit of stuff out on there, but to my best knowledge, to my experience, my friends, the added benefits that you get from having a platform upgrade like like going from AM4 to AM5 in terms to squeeze whatever power you can out of this 4080 Super. Obviously there's got to be like more tweaks or tricks that I can do, because I play a lot of racing games and I play a lot of open world games. I do dabble in other games every once in a while. I do play around with them, but they are not the main focus of the type of game that I play. And for the most part, playing at 1440p on the 4080 Super with the 7800X 3D absolutely makes it so I can, you know, tap the card out, you know, a lot higher while I'm playing in those specific situations. Like I'm playing Horizon Forbidden West right now. I've been going through that. I'm getting roughly, you know, playing at 4K. I'm getting about the exact same frame rate that I was getting prior with a 5900X. The same goes for like Ghost of Tsushima. All the other games that I was putting out videos, and people were just coming and telling me that I have to spend more money to be able to get the 78 or to get the 4080 Super to produce better overall outcomes. Now obviously there's some games out there, you know, I mean, if I'm playing at like 1080p or 1440p, yeah, maybe I get an extra, you know, 10 to 15 frames, but in my mind, from my experience and from how I was playing my games, the overall, see, this is the thing, man, like with the 7900 XT in there with the 7800X 3D, I definitely, you know, felt like the platform was more stable as it is with the 4080 Super. But that is like the biggest thing that I've noticed so far is stability. The stability is significantly, well, I'm not going to say significantly better. It is definitely better. Like it does feel more stable. I have better 1% lows now. My frame time graph is usually more consistent. Like it used to kind of be all over the place with a 5900X. Utilizing those cards at lower resolutions like 1440p and stuff. It is gotten a lot more stable, at least in that department. Obviously I'm getting, you know, better utilization out of my GPU. It's usually in like 98 to 100% now, where it used to drop down into like the 70s and stuff on certain games. I play a lot of open world games. I don't know if I mentioned that, but I did. I mentioned that at the beginning. I play a lot of open world games, my friends, and I play a lot of racing games. Some racing games are very CPU heavy. You know, like I said, of course, the Competizione. Obviously, the new Forza Motorsport has that one there is almost like night and day. That one there is almost like night and day. I would have to run that at 5K on both the 7900 XT and the 4080 Super just to get that thing to reach a higher GPU utilization, and that would give me a little bit more stability in the frame time or whatever. Now I've got a lot more consistency with that and being able to peg at 100% at 4K. So yes, that to me is definitely worth it. There are some things that are worth it, but in terms of telling people that they're bottlenecked or that their CPU is not that man, my friends, it didn't make a big enough difference to justify the $700 that I spent on it. I mean, I'm grateful I did it. Like, I don't feel negative about upgrading. Obviously, it was something that I should have probably just built AM5 when I built this PC. So I'm not mad about it. I'm not upset. Like, I feel like it was something that I needed to do eventually anyways. So I did it. And, you know, but I really do need the community of the PC guys to stop being so freaking like stop filling people with like false hope. Seriously, you guys have got to stop doing that. It causes so much misinformation and stuff out there. Like, I'm not saying that I'm perfect and that I don't add to that, but come on, guys. Like, you guys were telling me that I was going to get this amazing experience out of the 4080 Super if I just had the fastest CPU on the planet. And you know, guys, it just made the thing more stable. That's it. It's just more stable. It definitely feels more, you know, more optimized with the 4080 Super as well as the 7900 XT, and I'm grateful for that. Thank you guys. Obviously there are enough improvements to justify this, and I am finding more and more and more as I continue to utilize it and I continue to play these games and I continue to have a good time. Obviously, yes, the experience is better, but it's not so much better that like I can turn off the frame rate counter and absolutely notice it. Like, it really does. When I turn the frame rate counter off, guys, it just feels normal. Like, but then again, I have that higher tolerance because of being a console gamer for a long time. I do have a higher tolerance for stuff like that. But you know, if somebody was to come to me right now and be like, hey man, I got a 5900X and, you know, I've got like a 4080 Super or 7900 XT or XTX or something like that, and they were asking me if I thought that they should upgrade to the 7800X 3D. If you're Onyx, yes, absolutely, you should upgrade. If you're everybody else, it depends on your financials, you know. I mean, if you can afford to do it and it's not going to hurt like anything, and you're confident in your ability to upgrade it, yeah, dude, go ahead. Why not? It's definitely good performance. Is it well, I mean, if you live close to Micro Center, they're doing that bundle for like $500. So I guess the question really remains is it worth a $500 upgrade for the performance boost and the stability that you get going from a 5900X to that? I mean, yes and no, yes and no. Yes, it is, because it does provide a lot more stability in a lot of the games that I play, because I play a lot of open world games, I play a lot of racing games, so it does add stability to that, and that to me is kind of worth it. That to me is worth it, but you might be playing a completely different set of games that are absolutely running perfectly on your 5900X, because if you want my honest opinion, my friends, it's almost like there's some games there's absolutely no change whatsoever. Like, it literally feels the same, but then there are some games that get a slight boost that, I mean, it's not noticeable. but you can see it on the graphs, and then you get some that have a much bigger boost or significantly bigger boost that you can't see on the graph. Like I was I was absolutely blown away at at like Ghost Recon Wildlands. I was like, are you kidding me? I'm getting 117 frames a second with this. Like, this is incredible. And then I put out a video thinking like, why am I not getting the same gain on the 4080 Super? And like everybody noticed, it was like because I had the freaking temporal injection enabled on the AMD card, and then I was like, oh man, that took a lot of the wind out of my sails, because I was like, gosh dang dude, if this thing's gonna give me like a 40 FPS boost on some of these games, that's freaking exciting, you know. But yeah, that was just a false freaking that was like a placebo effect of just having the, I don't even know how that setting got turned on. Like I've never ever in my life turned on temporal injection. It must have been I was moving down, you know, with the controller, and it like flipped it over or something, but I didn't even notice that until and then like you guys noticed it, and then that kind of literally just took the wind out of my sails, because everything's been like a marginal improvement. Like yes, it improves it, but does it improve it enough to justify spending that much money? And has it truly unlocked the power of the 4080 Super? Look, guys, I personally, if you want the honest truth about the 4080 Super, about a 7900 XT, I would honestly still, to this day, after having both of these cards, I feel like you get a much better price to performance value on a 7800 XT and a 4070 Super. I would stay in that range. 7900 GRE, 7800 XT, 4070 Super, 4070. I would just stay there. That to me seems like the best bang for your money. And especially if you're on 1440p, you can still you can still use that class of GPU to play 4K on some games, or use your upscalers and actually make use of the upscalers and all of that stuff. To absolutely have to use frame generation and DLSS on a freaking $1,200 card, that shit is maddening. I'm like, really? I can't even get 1440p native with all of this stuff, all of the ray tracing and stuff. Like, that kind of stuff is like, are you kidding me? I could easily just put on, I could easily on the 4070 Super, I've been playing freaking Cyberpunk with the path tracing, the ray tracing, all of the settings at ultra with DLSS and frame generation at 1440p, and I would have been none the wiser on my 1440p monitor and still been able to enjoy that game for like half the cost. For half the cost, you get like 70 frames a second. Definitely a playable experience. And the same goes for the freaking AMD cards. You know, you put in an AMD card and you play it. Like, if you really got to have path tracing, I don't know. The selling features and the selling stuff on these cards, honestly, at the higher end of the stack, especially with the more money that you're paying for these cards, that's like the experience really starts to get to a point PC wise where you're like, dude, you're literally throwing money away for marginally better games and still having to play with all of that stuff enabled. So I mean, if you're a person that has absolutely been convinced by the tech tubers and everyone else that DLSS looks better than native resolution, then yeah, maybe it is. Maybe it is worth it to you to spend that much money on a 4080 or a 4080 Super. Me personally, I do not think that DLSS looks better than native resolution. The only thing that you get is the AA. The AA is definitely better. Like, obviously the AA is better, but I do still notice I do still notice that like the native image looks better. And if you downsample native to 1440p or something like that, it looks even better. Like, DLSS looks good. Like, it is probably one of the best ones, but then, you know, FSR does the same thing on 4K. Like, you just get a better image quality. I mean, you get good image quality. The thing I like about FSR is I'm not, like, when I turn on their frame generation, I don't lose overall image quality. I don't, you know, there's so many different pros and cons when it comes to the PC stuff, and I think that everybody just gets so caught up in defending the brand that they like that they really do shoot themselves in the foot and end up costing themselves a lot of money for something that, like, gosh, dude, like, I get it, dude. I love tech too, man, but at the same time, like, the PC thing, and I have to do this myself. Like, I have to, like, literally question everything, because I do, like, to spend money stupidly. Like, I'm not very good at, like, controlling my spending. I just think, yeah, I just want the best. And I mean, my wife even said that to me the other day, dude. We're at the store and I'm looking at a freaking weed whacker, and I'm trying to buy the most expensive freaking weed whacker there, and she's like, can't you just get a cheaper one? And I was like, no, babe, I have to have the power. I'm like, dude, like, I'm so dumb sometimes. Like, I'm so dumb. But yeah, guys, I don't know, man. Like, once I get this home and I'm looking at it and I'm playing it, and then I got people coming to me and telling me, oh, you're not getting the full power, or I saw a benchmark somewhere else. Guys, when I use the shadow play, it obviously drops off a few FPS. Like, it does. So not all systems are built the same, you know, obviously too. Like, there's I get so tired of hearing that stuff. The experience, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I've watched the same freaking the same things that you guys are saying. I've watched the same benchmarks. I've seen all the same information that you guys have seen, and it makes me mad. It's like, well, why don't I get that performance on my build? What is it about my build that isn't up to snuff? And then I remember, oh yeah, these guys use the most expensive free shit they can on the market to do their benchmarks. Sadly, I'm not going to go out there and spend the most money I can to get the few extra frames above what I'm getting that they are getting. That is crazy. So yeah, when it comes to the 4080 Super finally being unlocked with the power of the 7800X 3D, I don't know, man. Like, I kind of feel like it did in some ways, but then I kind of feel like it hasn't in other ways. And I have been testing it, and I will keep testing it. I will keep playing it. So obviously I'm happy with my experience. I am. I'm happy with my experience on both the 7800 XT, the 7900 XT and the 4080 Super. Like, I'm pretty satisfied with the overall experience that I'm getting. Whether you don't like the results of what I put out, I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. If you don't like the fact that my 7900 XT is sometimes beats my 4080 Super, that's a you problem. That's not a me problem. That's a you problem. Because for me, I'm like, that's exciting. My cheaper card is beating the more expensive card. That validates what I feel, and that validates, you know, that like, look, man, you guys could probably save a lot of money getting an AMD card versus spending all that money and then trying to pretend like it's better than AMD just outright. I think they're both good. Honestly, I really do. I think they're both good. I do feel like Nvidia is a bit overpriced. If Nvidia is not overpriced, then AMD's underpriced. You know what I mean? So let's just go with, hey man, maybe Nvidia is a little bit overpriced. I do think that $999 for the Founders Edition for the 4080 Super would have been a much better buy over having to pay an extra $100 for an AIB. Plus the Founders Edition cards are significantly higher quality. So I would try to do that, try to stay in that $1,000 range, because then you at least don't feel too bad. And obviously 7900 XT is definitely a competitor, at least in terms of providing that high-end experience in a way that, like, see, that's the thing, guys. Like, the AMD experience doesn't feel watered down at all. Like, it feels pretty dang good. It feels pretty potent. So that's the best advice I can give you guys, man. Like, 4080 Super's awesome, but 7900 XT in my build is pretty dang good too. Like, I'm like, wow, this is cool. I really did. I honestly, guys, I'm not even gonna lie, I really did fear getting a 4080 Super, because I really did think it was going to significantly, I thought it was going to be I thought it was going to blow my 7900 XT out of the water, and then I was going to be disappointed with it. But honestly, guys, if anything, I'm grateful to see that my 7900 XT is really holding its own and doing a good job at everything I've stacked up against it with the 4080 Super. I'm just happy with that, to be completely honest with you. And if it was the other way around, if the 4080 Super was significantly better and absolutely destroying it, you would know that too. Like, I would definitely tell you guys. I have no reason to lie to you. I mean, I really don't. I do think that they are both awesome. I do like the 4080 Super. I am just a little bit more like, wow, dude, I really did kind of expect a little more, and that's the way you're going to come into Nvidia, because the hype and everything is so high around these cards that you're going to come into this stuff expecting like these unrealistic expectations, and then you're going to get hit with reality and you're going to be like, oh, okay. I mean, it's cool, but it's you know what I mean, guys? So, all right, if you guys like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.